Nashville, I gave cards to people on the team. And that was the one thing about Michio that I said in front of everybody, is that she, no matter what, is always asking for help. How hard is it for me? It was hard for me to ask for help in my life. Let me just try harder. And I'm taking that dull axe, hitting the tree, harder and harder. And I say, well, the tree just must not want to come down for me. And it's not how hard I'm swinging the axe. How sharp is my axe? And I forgot, and I don't know if it's Abraham Lincoln or Benjamin Franklin, that said if I have 4 hours to chop down a tree, I spend 3 hours sharpening my axe and only 1 hour actually chopping the tree. It's exactly what this is all about. I spend more time on me, my head game, getting around you, because the mastermind, the reason why I showed the mastermind is because Jeff Olson talks about it. It's in Think and Grow Rich. And this is a perfect segue from here going on, is that in Think and Grow Rich, he said the 500 most successful, I'm going to say this over and over again because Jeff always does, the 500 most successful people in the world who were interviewed, and they said these were the things that I did to be successful, and they all came back and said there's 13 things. One of them was I was part of a mastermind group. I inoculated myself, not only myself, but all the other forces of the world, which is negative, 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 negative. My fiance was a yoga instructor, right? All that chin, all that stuff, and yet she was going, you're going to one of those things again? Right? We have somebody that just shared I was already building up who I was, becoming the best version of myself, and I was still negative about my perceptions about stuff. It all is, the game is right here. It is always right here. Right? Once you start getting this, right, Michio, I'm so proud to be working with you because she kept asking for help. We decided, hey, what do you think has changed? Because I call it posture. Your posture it's gone unbelievable. Had she not come to the regionals and shown up for the trainings and everything, we just don't know. Like, we're turning there's a combination on a lock, right, for our business. And I'm turning it like this. And I put the lock on the right first number. And I don't think the lock, this isn't opening. Right? It's not opening. This business isn't working. Those are regionals, corporate event, exposures. And when you go to the regional corporate event exposure, it gives you the next number. And then you go to the next number. And you get more information, and you try to apply that. Plan, do, review, right? Knowledge, activity, activity, knowledge, learn knowledge, activity, knowledge, back and forth. I go to the next number. The business isn't looking the way I think it should be looking. And you're still on the right next number. And then they say, go to the next regional corporate event, training. Get on the mastermind. Keep doing what you're doing because it's working, even though you don't see it. Then you go to the next number, and you're getting closer and closer to the safe opening. And all of a sudden, you want to cry, and you want to quit. You say, this isn't working. It's not looking the way I think it should be looking. And the next thing you know, the safe opens. And then when you ask Michio, what was the one thing that changed it all? I don't know. I just kept doing it all. And then one day it started working. Right? One day, I think it was my perception, it was the Facebook Lives, the social media challenge. And she just was doing things that aren't going to get me the ROI that I think I need. Right? Well, I just, look, I'm busy. Super busy. So I just need to know what to do so I can get the result. Give me the cookie cutter. And there's no cookie cutter. You just got to do this stuff. And if you got to do this stuff and you're a business owner, you need to learn how to work with this thing because it's not like a job where I go to work and then I get paid. It is simply not that way. And then you got to build a team and teach them to think like that. And then you wonder why isn't my business growing? That's why I was always wondering. Because I didn't sell out on this stuff, the how to do the hows, the reading the books. I had somebody who I hold dear in my heart who's no longer in this business that gave me the greatest gift about a year ago. I started doing Facebook Lives. And it changed my posture. I started doing 10 pages with Tim. Has anyone ever seen those? So I had 10 pages with Tim. This guy said, you got to get on Facebook. You got to put your face out there. You got to start doing live something. I go, What am I don't know. What? Are you kidding me? Start doing lives? What am I just going to go, hi, so hey. So I'm at the park. Right? Because I watch people do that, and what do? I judge them. And so I think I'm going to be judged. And guess what I do? I don't do it. And yet, the people who have what I want say, but do it. And I go, yeah, but it's not going to look the way I want it to look. And it's going to make me feel weird. People are going to judge me, so no. And I'm not going to do it. Right? Period. Just not going to do it. And then I see people start to get what they want, doing what they're telling me to do, and I'm going, why isn't this business working? Because you're not stepping out of your comfort zone. You've been stepping out of your comfort zone. Does anyone watch Michio's lives? You see her do them? They're phenomenal. I think my favorite one was you were sitting in the car and your husband was driving and you go, blah, blah, blah. You look up and you go, oh my God, a giant cock. My fiance screams from the other room. She's like, ah! I go, what? She goes, you get on live, Michio, just yell a giant cock. And I'm like, what? So I get on live and she's like, here, I'm getting out of the car. You have to see this. She goes like this and it was a giant rooster. How authentic is that, right? It's like, but how many lives has she done over and over feeling weird and this is strange? But she was doing the social media boot camp and they told her to start doing lives. I started doing 10 pages with Tim. I brought on 6 brand partners who were all doing the business because they were watching me on Facebook. I would read 10 pages. So his name was Silver and he said, you just need to start doing something that's authentically you. I don't care what it is. And I'm like, well, I love the journey I'm on of personal development. He said, then do something with that. And I thought, 10 pages, we got to read 10 pages a day. I'll read 10 pages a day. 10 pages with Tim. I'm brilliant! It took me 4 months to come up with something. Once I started doing it, I did it every single day. People my fraternity brothers, friends, started reaching out. I had friends of mine saying, I decided to go back to college watching your 10 pages with Tim. Right? I have my son and I watch this every single night when he gets home from school. We watch it together. And I started building a brand. Who is at corporate America? Who is at the corporate event? And what did Amber talk about with social media? Build your brand. I don't care what it is. Right? Start to figure it out. Have fun with it. Think about your life. Right? Get groovy. And all of a sudden, people are starting to ask me, what are you doing? I never talked about Miora. Never. I'd allude to it sometimes. I'd say my CEO wrote this book. And every book I read, I'd refer back to The Slight Edge, which is the first book I read. And I had never read a full book. I'll be honest. Watch this. I never read a full book cover to cover in my life. Up till last summer, I've read 9 books cover to cover. I know. Thank you for that. Because I started doing live. I got out of my comfort zone. I started doing things that people said to do that I didn't think were going to work. Like, what does that have to do with me getting paid? What does doing that have to do anything with building a business? Well, it has to do everything. Yeah, but what? Well, do it and you'll find out. Because I've done it, and I'm building my business, and this is working. Michio, would you say that your lives, had you not plugged in and not quit and fought off the I want to quit and all those things and asking for help and showing up to the corporate events and all those things, had you quit at any of those times and not been able to inoculate yourself enough in the mastermind groups, the weekly presentations, the corporate event and regionals, you would have quit. You never would have gotten to the corporate event to see the social media boot camp, to then start doing something out of your comfort zone. And I think you brought on the past 2 weeks 3 customers and a brand partner.
Woo!
So, that's your story. But it's going to not look that way, but it's going to look like that. And that's why Jeff does this. Right? 3 years to get started. 3 years. 1 day. 1 day. But once you got started, it took you 3 years to really get started. It took me 2 years to really get started. A no is not a no. It's just a not now. How did this person sign up? Because she didn't give up. She exposed and exposed and exposed. And so what does that mean? Is that people are watching you. People are watching every move you make. They're watching how you do it. And that means you need to become the best version of you. to attract into your business as you go along doing these activities that seem to make no difference at all in the act of doing them and doing them over and over and over with consistency and persistency with a good attitude. And then one day, the pond is covered with hyacinth. One day, the butter turns into a solid foundation. One day, that penny becomes $1.78 million. One day. But 3/4 of that entire time doesn't look the way I think it should be looking. And I want to quit. And I want to cry. And I want to say, this isn't looking the way I thought it was supposed to look. And I got everyone saying, still doing that thing. Right? Mike Putt, Shelly. Right? Here's a tissue. Right? And you got people. I had this one guy at my networking event. I was a director for 3 years, by the way. Once I started the business, I didn't focus so much on my business. I focused on who I was becoming, because I knew that once my business started to grow, as Jeff Olson says, there's two fears. Fear, as you heard at the very beginning, I played that thing. People are fear of failure, and more importantly, people are fearful of success. That was me. I had no issue getting excited and building it up. Once it got to a certain point, they're going to figure me out. Insecurities start coming up. I'm not really who they think I am. If they only knew my past. I've never been successful, really successful in anything before. Let me just step away. I've never really exploded in my life. So I knew that I needed to build a foundation of personal development and reading the books and getting around the people and just building that foundation. Now, my business is starting to book. And guess what? I know I deserve it.
Yes.
I know I deserve it. Why? Because I have a story that says you can believe me, that you know that I deserve it. And now you believe that you can do it when I build a team and I say to Michio all the time, I was a director for 3 years. I tell Ernst, my business partner in the Philippines, who's just like Michio over in the Philippines, on every conference call, everything. She's doing the lives. You and her are like the two people that do not stop doing the lives. They're on social media boot camp. They're doing everything. We do our mastermind, and they're like, here's our exposures, follow-ups, 3 ways. And Ernst is like, I had 15 exposures and 30 follow-ups. She's got 1 customer in like 2 months. And she is constantly doubting herself. And had I not had my process, I wouldn't be able to say, you can do it. I was a director for 3 years, and then have her believe me. So many of us just want to go straight to the top so that, I'm at this certain level, and that way when I go out there and expose people, I go, I'm a national marketing director. You should join my business. Right? And then they go, great. And then all of a sudden their business gets rocked, and they start freaking out, and they want to quit. You're like, well, I don't know. Just keep doing it. And there's no depth and weight to your story for them to be able to trust you. Does this make sense? Awesome. So, let's get out of here. Move forward. Where's it at? There it is. All right. So, this is what Puya did for me. This is when my business really took off. So, Puya is all about goals. This is called Massive Action Plan or SMART goals. Anyone ever heard of SMART goals? Awesome.
I did this with Puya.
You did this with Puya as well? Awesome. Are you in Puya's team?
Somewhere, somehow. Yeah.
Awesome, right on. We're all on Puya's team somewhere. So, Massive Action Plan, Results and Purpose. Now, this is not what it looked like when we did it the first time. I had to rewrite everything, and I still had to scratch stuff out. So he asked me, I want you to put maps at the top, results in the middle, and purpose. He goes, and I want you to write SMART. S stands for...
Specific.
There you go! Someone knew. I knew it. So specific. My specific goal. So this was, I think I was 2 months out, and I needed to be promoted twice to get to area marketing director. And so I was doing all the stuff, but as Puya liked to say, and I talked about this last night, somebody, I like using this term, I was like an octopus on roller skates. Right? I was doing a lot of activity and getting nowhere. Right? And so he said we need to focus because focus creates clarity, clarity creates energy, and energy creates action, action creates results. So we need to focus. So the specific goal is, and speak as it is already happening, I am an area marketing director in my New York business by March 31st, 2019. This was a goal so I could walk across stage as an area marketing director in Nashville. I have 45,000 in GQV. I ended up with 45, like 1, 2, 3 or something. Like right over 45,000. This is achievable. So M is measurable. A is achievable. So what is it measurable? Is it achievable? R is it realistic? Yes, this is realistic. And the reason why that's on there is because he's like, I don't want you to say, I want to be a platinum national marketing director. That's not realistic right now to what we're doing. First, we need to learn how to get to area marketing director. Right? Then he said, and then a timeline attached to it is March 31st, 2019. So this is what we call a SMART goal. My fiance was like, oh yeah, SMART goals. We do that at work all the time. I'm like, I work at restaurants. We do SMART goals. The purpose. I didn't understand what he meant by that. He's like, why are you doing this? I'm like, to make more money and to like, do you want me to share my why? He's like, no. What will come out of this looking back if you achieve this? And he had to give me a couple examples. So I'm going to gain more knowledge of the comp plan because now I need to learn the comp plan to get to that next level. My income will go up. I am helping others get paid, which I can't get to that position if I do that. I'm gaining confidence. I'm paying off debt. This is a stepping stone to NMD. This is validation. This opportunity is real. I'm becoming a respected leader through rank advancement, and I'm gaining a sense of contribution, which is, I threw that in there as a Tony Robbins. I really like that. He's kissing his butt. And then on the left-hand side is, what is my massive action plan? He goes, so what are the activities that will get you there? And I'm like, he's like, what are the activities? I'm like, exposures, follow-ups, blah. He's like, great. 10 core commitments. I'm like, yeah. He's like, there's some other ones on top of 10 core that I'm sure you do. I'm like, yeah. He goes, if there was three activities that you could do, and this is all you could do out of all of those things, if they said you could only do 3 things to build your business, what would those 3 things be? Do you think to get you to where you need to go? And I said, exposures, follow-ups, and 3-way calls. He said, then you focus on those like your life depends on it. And everything else you're already doing, right? I'm like, yeah. He said, so just focus on those 3.
Can I share something?
Yes,
so
please.
I just pulled up the one that did with Puya. We did it on January, I think, 3rd or 4th. I haven't done anything with it since because of my own head. But looking at it now, I realize I'm about halfway to my goal.
It's amazing. Yeah. And what were your top 3 activities?
On the activities?
Yeah, so massive action plan.
The activities was 5 exposures a day, daily follow-ups, referrals, more samples and rotation, affiliate programs, PPC funnels. That's something else that.
So exposures, follow-ups, and referrals. Yeah.
The basic stuff. I think that.
So the first 2 are exposures and follow-ups, and it's really, he said, focus on those, and I focused like a maniac, and it was fun because guess what? I wasn't like, I got to do this, and I got to do that, and I got to read this, and do a Facebook Live, and I got to go to the regional, and where's corporate, and I got to call my team, and I got to find out where they're at. No, he said, all of that stuff will fall into place. You focus on these 3 things, and your life depends on it. And I hit it. So, going back to this, people say set goals. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to set goals. I needed somebody to show you. Has anyone ever set goals prior to this? Who has never set goals prior to this business?
Are there about setting a goal or actually setting a goal?
Setting a goal. Like, did anyone know how to do it? Right? Rather than like, I want to do this. Like, that's a wish, not a goal. Okay. So I had never done that before.
No.
Right? And so that's what they say. Go ahead.
What is on the robot and under massive activity?
Taproot. So taprooting is like this. This is me. Yay! Right? I recruit somebody here, and I help make their list, top 10. The first person they bring on, I lock arms with. And then I help this person make their list, top 10. They may bring on 2 people. I reach out to those 2 people, and I find out who I think might be a runner. I lock arms with that person, and I taproot. I didn't know what this was at all. Now what happens is, I help them make their list and do their thing, and they've gotten one person, so now they know how to do that. And then I go to this person, I just keep going until I find somebody that says, I see it, I'm in, you don't need to worry about me. You just tell me what to do. And then they go to town. So I taproot until I find somebody who's just like me, where they're just going to plug in and do the deal. And then I go to my other leg, and I do the same thing. So what I'm doing is I'm just making sure that leg's not going to go anywhere as much as possible. Because what happens, and Queen can explain this a lot better than I can, but what happens is I stay here, and then I forget about this person, and then I recruit this person, and this was my problem in the past. I'm really good at recruiting people. I'm not good at building a team. That's where I used to stay. Now I'm incredible at recruiting people, and I'm fantastic at helping them build a team. So that's taprooting in a nutshell. Where's the clicker? Awesome. Master the 2-a-day system. Does anyone send out birthday samples? Awesome. This changed my business. This changed how many preferred customers I get. It changed because I was like, how do I use... Here's my fear. I'll share my fear. My fear of the samples came out, and whether it's a bottle or a sample, I'm like, how do I talk to people about without feeling pushy or like weird or like I'm salesy? Like, hey, try the skincare product. That's how I feel inside, right? But that's not how I act. That's how I feel. Like I'm being weird. This changed my business. Happy birthday, Aaron. Let me know if you'd like any birthday samples. Thanks, Tim. How are you? My old face can always use some help. Right? You're doing quite fine, but we all see things we could improve. Watch this 7-minute video and let me know what you might want to try. Oh. Happy birthday. How are you? How is Dan? Your family's beautiful. Hi, Tim. Can you send me info on hearing products? You didn't even answer my question. Right? This is a friend of mine from college who's been watching me. People are watching you. Right? Happy birthday, Shauna. Let me know if you'd like any birthday samples. Thanks, Tim. Samples up. Well, I offer birthday samples to people on their birthday. There's a quick 7-minute video. Let me know what you like most interested in sampling. Very simple. I mean, how many friends do I have on Facebook? Like 3,000 something. How many birthdays are there? 3,000 something. Right?
What video are you sending?
7-minute Amber Olsen video.
I love that.
The product video. And so I'll say, hey, watch this 7-minute video. And if I know they have teenage kids, I'd be like, we just came out with a breakthrough acne product. Let me know if you want a video on that. But I try not to send them a bunch of information. Right? Just that quick 7-minute video. And then they say, yes, I want something. And I'm like, great. And sometimes I do this. I'll say, happy birthday, big boy. It's my cousin. Let me know, and I even spelled no wrong. Let me know if you would like any free birthday samples. Skin, brain, gut, cells, sleep, energy. I send that to guys. Right? Because I'm like, hey, happy birthday. Let me know if you like any birthday samples. Right? Guys are like, what are you talking about, brother? Right? But if I phrase it like this, right? If I phrase it like skin, brain, gut, cell, sleep, or energy, that guys hear that and they go, maybe sleep or my gut. So I just tried to word it in a way that, right? And by the way, he didn't. This is why I put this in there. He just said, "Hey, thanks, Tim. Great to hear from you."
Yeah.
I
Or you get a thumbs up.
Yeah. I was like, "All right, brother." And I drop it, and I'm like, "Hey, are you going to answer me about my?" I don't go into that, right? Why aren't you? Right? Just leave it alone, right? So that's why you need to friend as many people on Facebook, because people have birthdays, and they're watching you, and everyone's on Facebook, even though they say they're not. Especially if you're my age. All these young kids are on Instagram. So, this is the exposure process. You guys heard it before, just in these stories. I was exposed, follow up, drip, drip, drip. Right? It wasn't like, you gotta do this, you gotta do this, you gotta do this, you gotta do this, you gotta do this. Weird. It was just authentic, follow up. And then they got them on the phone with somebody else to hear their story. Like this is in the training. It's very, very simple. Let's fast forward. This is a tracking sheet. Has anyone ever wondered about how to track your exposures? Nope? Okay. So this is my system. This is what I've used. I just cleaned it out because when I go home, I'm making another 90-day run. So I learned this from Mark Riches in 2004, prepaid legal shit. And I about lost it because it's so primitive and it's phenomenal. So that is the sheet. I meet somebody. If I get their business card, I staple it to the top right for that little space. And then I have this. I have the days of the week. And I have the months of the year. Right? And if someone says, "Hey, you know what? Now's not a good time. Why don't you give me a call in a couple months?" Not a problem. I write their information down, a couple months, put them in here, forget about them. Because what happens with our exposures and follow-ups, it turns into an emotional experience. Am I right? You emotionally get about when do I follow up, how do I follow up, what do I, like all that stuff. This right here takes that anxiety and just kind of takes it off your back. And it's like, oh, this is Sarah. And if you just keep adding to this thing, you're going to find out that I'm going to have to, like, if you do, let's say, one exposure a day, you're going to start filling this book up, and you're never going to be able to run out of people. Because 3 years down the road, if you're not following up with that one person who is interested, or you don't have a system, and I mean, I got people I meet from all over the world. I write, like, so this right here, this is Regula and Roget from Switzerland. I met Central Switzerland, Lucerne, met at the Plaza in downtown Chicago. I sent a hello email and sent an email asking if they know anyone in Switzerland. And then I'm going to follow up with them. UK. Oh, this must be my... Oh, yeah, I put this together. So these are all people I know in other countries. UK, Scotland, England, France. If you meet someone from another country, make sure to put them in your... So if anyone...
Again, you got the days of the week and then...
Yep. If you guys want to see this, it'll be here. So it's really just the days of the week. Someone says, "Hey, follow up me next Friday." I'm here, open it up, put them in here. So I forget all about them until Friday comes. So I'm doing exposures and follow-ups. So this is a great time to make time for your follow-ups. So I do my follow-ups usually in the morning or the night. So let's say it's Thursday night. This is actually what I do. Thursday night, I'll go to my Friday follow-ups. I'll go through each one, and then I'll go into my calendar. And if they say follow me in the morning, or follow me at night, or whatever, I'll put it in my calendar so that I'm aware of that.
So what's the fourth line here? It's email, see name, email,
Work. So what they do?
Work.
Or work number.
Oh.
Yeah. Work number. That's right. I just never change it. You can make it however you want, right? This is just a template, right? And then it has how many spaces for follow-ups. Because sometimes it takes 3 years. Right. Anyone know Broadway Cafe? I got the t-shirt. Yeah. All right. So, you guys know this? You guys seen this?
You were just down there, weren't you?
So I have these if you guys want to see them.
Just down there.
Shallon Murphy said to her team, print these out and laminate them. Why? Because you can take a dry eraser and you can fill them out every single month and then you can erase them. So as time goes on, you can see your numbers and you can start filling in. As you can see, I've done it multiple times. You can start filling in when your PC starts signing up. You sign up a new PC and you just see exactly where you're at. And it's on my desk at home sitting here. And I put 3 PCs who qualified for 6 preferred customers last month. And so I'm always finding out, hey, rock it out. Are those 3 brand partners still on pace? Great. And that's level 2 because that's where I'm at. But level 1 is just trying to get 9 preferred customers or to get $150 bonus or 6 preferred customers yourself. And then 3 of your brand partners, 3 are free. You get a $200 bonus. So this is all, it's in my eyesight. I'm always looking at it because I'm the type of guy, I don't know about you, I'll see this and go, man, that's awesome! And then if I can't see it, I just don't think about it at all. Ever. Until someone reminds me of it again. So I need to see this and I need to track it. And it gets me excited, right? Because when I'm focused, and I have clarity and focus, I have energy. And energy creates more action. Right? Go ahead.
And this sounds really dumb, but don't let the laminating holes you up. Put it in one of those sleeves. Because I literally have people, I just print it out, but I haven't gotten it laminated yet. So,
oh, yeah.
those plastic sleeves.
That's not dumb. Anything that works for you, but just as long as you do it. Right? It's awesome. There it is in level 2, and then level 3. I can't yet. Almost there. And the reason why this is great is because people want to know how much and how fast can I make. And you can say, just fill this out. If you fill this out, that's what you expect every single month. Right? Launch party with real results parties. We had one last night. It was awesome. We had a guest there. She might show up today. I don't know. Maybe. Oh, you did? Awesome. So she might show up. RRPs are fantastic. Who has never been to a real results party? No, that's it. It's okay. You're brand new. But a real results party is really how this whole company rocked out, how it got started. It's the face-to-face. You get to touch, feel, and experience the products. You go through the information. Everyone does it differently. Some people play videos. Some people do the whole presentation. Different matters. What's going on. The guests don't know any different. Right? All the guests, as long as... So if I had any guests there last night, I would have played the video. Because I don't want them to go, oh, well, see, I have to do a presentation. Right? But, because I didn't, and other people, they can look at the person that got them in the business and say, oh, all I got to do is bring people to a party like this. So it's all about duplication. Right? Miriam Edge, this is phenomenal. It is, I cannot imagine building my business without it. My dad has 2 secretaries and an assistant to build his business. And when he asked me last year, so who does all your accounting? Like, who takes care of the numbers? Like, who does all that? I'm like, Neora. All I got to do is print it out. He's like, what? Yeah, I just got to print it out. And he's like, that's incredible. So Neora Edge is phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal. They have new tools on there. If you don't know how to use it, call corporate, call your upline, and learn how. They're fantastic. Product knowledge. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here at all. Looking better. Anyone have any great testimonials about one of these 2 products? Other than they work? They work. Right? So I'm going to fly through the products. Is that okay?
Can I share something?
Yes.
I have a daughter, talk about those that are really skeptical. She takes EHT. And that's about all that she has been willing to really do. Tried the face wash a little bit. And we were together Memorial Weekend. And she had a wedding that she was in Saturday. And she was on her period and she broke out on her face and she was having all these issues. And I gave her a day, a night, and the acne and the sunscreen. And I said, I can't provide
want to pass it. And did anyone hear her, how she shared that? She got emotional. This is an emotional business for us, guys. We got to stop pretending like it's not. Because this and this are connected. They are not separate. And so if we work on this, and we get around each other to feed this, we stay enough to have the confidence to give somebody we love that's poo-pooing all over this, to say something that comes from here that I can't give you a lot, but I can give you this, and then it works, and then her perception changes, and what happens to your confidence? And then you get to share that here, and someone here hears this, that needed to hear this. And had they not been here at this regional, they wouldn't have heard you, and they would have still had the I want to quit, and they probably would have quit because they weren't here to inoculate themselves from their own mind and their poo-pooing people. Does that make sense? Right? So that's why this stuff is so, so important. I'm no different than anyone here. I'm no different. Whitney's are no different. Tracy's no different. We're all the same. We're human beings that are sensitive and worry about what other people think to a degree, some more than others. But that is what we're made up of emotional. Right? We don't make decisions based on logic for the most part. It's how you make me feel. And when I'm feeling a certain way, it will dictate on whether I move forward with something or not. Right? And that's why coming here, even for me, it's like in the fellowship I'm in outside of here, it's like when I work with other men, and Jeff Olson talks about it, when you become a teacher, you actually become the number one student. Because now you need to be focusing on this information like you've never focused on it before. Right? And so that's why you guys, this is so much fun. I don't know if anyone has as much fun as I do. So fun. I heard you have a lot of fun. You and your wife. Yeah. So this is a product. Does anyone else have any? Awesome. What'd she say?
I said, I don't know him.
Yeah.
Only 52 years.
Oh, my. I can almost hear what he's going to say. How did you get along for 52 years?
Well, it's like the business. It's like
Amen to that. He took the words right out of my mouth.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, when I'm up here, she's down here.
Yeah. So there's nothing in life that isn't like this, right? And looking back, had you known what you know now, I mean, you would have done it all.
Oh, go ahead and ask.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, you would.
Does anyone else have any?
Can I share one other thing?
Yes.
I had, my daughter-in-law is a nurse. And she just was really skeptical of any of the products. Really wouldn't even try them.
This isn't your daughter anymore. It's your daughter-in-law.
My daughter-in-law.
Wow, you got a lot of
oldest
girlfriends.
son. My oldest son's wife. And she had been posting a lot of things about anxiety. She wasn't sleeping. And I'm like, wow, this is about the time that she was getting out. So I took over a bag of each with about each. And I said, here, I'm just going to give you these. Try them. See what you think. You know, you're not, I'm just giving them to you. And she says, well, I'll read that. I said, okay, that's fine. That's fine. And she had 2 days. And she was on the phone to her mom. And she says, Mom, you know, I've been getting a lot of stuff done the last couple of days. Being really productive and not feeling so stressed. I haven't gone to bed. She was going to bed like at 8 o'clock. Just crashing. And she just took just the days. She was afraid of the night. So she just took just the days. And just had 2. And she was telling her mom this. And she said she was standing in the kitchen and she looked over at the counter and she went, Mom, I think I know what it is. She said, I've taken these 2 things that my mother gave me. I'm not sure, but I think they work. of her staying awake so my son could talk to her after the kids went to bed. He says, I don't know how much those cost, but you get them on an ATO.
Yes. That's awesome.
So I've been trying to get her to try a lot of different things, and she never would. So that being persistent, kind of sharing things with her.
It's amazing because were you nervous giving them to her?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Right?
Because she had said no about so many other things.
Yeah.
I probably have a bigger pile of no's than I have anything else.
Yeah.
We all do.
We all do. That's the only, right? And that's the only way. The great example was this. If I'm working in a restaurant and I go up to a table and we have a special for the day, and I say, hey folks, I'd like to welcome you to wherever, right? There's a special card right there on the table. Here's the specials. This is the chef special. This is how it's made, prepared. I'd like to recommend maybe a bottle of wine. Oh, we're not drinking tonight. We already know we want. It's me. I know it's me. It's me because I'm not good enough. How silly is that? But that's what we're doing here. Hey, I'd like you to try this. I'm not interested. Right? That's all we're doing is asking people to try. Yeah.
My husband and I went to Branson last week, and he surprised me with a trip to Silver City. And I thought I had forgotten my sunscreen. And we were about halfway through the day. Well, my husband is bald, and it was a sunny day, and we were standing in line at this one ride that he wanted to ride, standing in the sun. He goes, man, I sure wish I brought my hat. I'm going to get so sunburned on the top of my head. And I looked down, and in the side pocket of my purse was my sunscreen. I pulled it out, and like I said, we're halfway through the day. And I went ahead and put it on him, and I put some on myself, and we got home, and my daughter said, Dad, I saw your hat sitting on the table. You forgot your hat. And he goes, that's okay. Your mom had her sunscreen on. It was covered. I was like, yes. Well, now my daughter has ordered the sunscreen.
See? How much fun is that? That's awesome. That is so fantastic. Does anyone else have fun stories about the products? Or anything? I love hearing this stuff. I think it's more important than me standing up here training on anything. Go ahead.
Just keep being consistent. I tweaked some things on my Facebook page from the social media boot camp.
You are hilarious, by the way.
Well, you know what? At conference, when she's saying get a brand, and I sat there and thought, I already have mine.
You're hilarious.
I post, so you know, most of you know, but I don't have grandkids, I don't have pets, and I don't like to, post what I'm eating or drinking too much. And so I don't have much personal to put out there. So I started posting funny things and inspirational things. And the inspirational, that all came because of Neora and the self-improvement. So I now seem to have this following of people who watch my page to get a laugh or to get some inspiration. And it just makes me feel so wonderful when somebody tells me that they smiled because of something I posted. I had someone contact me that I lifted her out of a depression. She had depression, and I lifted her out of it, and she's a customer now. And I didn't, it just things keep evolving. And so I've tweaked some things. You're talking about your head and your heart, and how we're presenting instead of being more like an ad, and sounding like an ad. Talk about what it's doing for me, and I've made that shift the last few weeks, and just more things continue to come my way. I have 89 customers now. No brand partners.
You need to
I know
it's
on its way. It's on its way.
Keep going to training.
89. That's awesome.
And,
Yeah.
No. around 14, 15 orders a month going out. So I'm thrilled. I met the PTC thing every month since they started, things like that. So, and it just keeps growing, and it's on its way. I know it's going to happen. And so I had posted, maybe it was Thursday, about the business, and then last night when I got home, I looked and somebody said, "I'm interested, Janice." Yeah. And so I messaged her, and she hasn't responded yet. But I looked back at our feed of the messenger, and I contacted her in January and said, "Thanks for liking my post, and can I send you this?" And she kind of shut me down. Didn't even want to look at the video, and I'm not interested. I don't think I have anyone interested, but thank you. Okay, and as I looked, I'm like, I haven't contacted her, since. And then she out of the blue says she's interested. And then as I searched some more at her profile, I realized she's my brother-in-law's cousin. So I met her last October, but I don't really remember. But she's been following me.
Yeah.
So
the people are watching.
People are watching. People who don't comment, nothing. Someone else who just ordered a week before, a couple of years ago, I asked her, and she was doing something else and not interested in even checking anything out, and she contacted me to order, and she ordered.
That's awesome.
And
I wish we could share the photo you posted the other day, the before and after. I only shared it with a couple people. The guys on the beach.
Oh.
It's obviously not a real photo. But to piggyback on that real quick, what I'm hearing, because when it comes to this stuff, this brand and getting yourself out there, what I'm hearing is people want to buy or join something they feel a part of. That is why Apple, are there better phones out there? There are now. Are there better accessories and all that stuff? Yes. Then why is the line out the door and people camp out when the new iPhone comes out? Because they feel part of Apple. They feel part of the culture. Right? And so the reason why you want to get out there and show that, hey, you don't need to be like, I'm happy, right? And get all weird and unauthentic. But be yourself. Find out what you enjoy to be out there on social media, so that people are going to watch you. Because if you're just out there and you're like, Trump this or Obama or, whatever, and you're throwing just, right, out there, and then you're like, hey, you should buy my cream. They're like, no. Not because I don't want to buy your cream, because I don't want to buy that, right? And so you're putting whatever you're putting out there, and people not only want to say, yeah, I'll buy that product because I feel good buying from you. Does that make sense? Yeah. Even if the product is great, I see those people, and there's friends of mine that I know they're making $40,000 a month in other companies that I was with them in another business. And I see them on Facebook, and they've got customers, and I would never want to buy from them because it doesn't feel, it feels salesy and right? Go ahead. Who had their hand?
Oh, I was just going to say that I get all the time that people they say you're just so consistent. You never quit. You never stop posting. So the fact that you said you were changing your brand and I said you're so funny, you should take that as a real compliment, because Mike will come to me and say, oh my gosh, look what Janice posted, and I'm like, oh my god, that's hilarious, or so we're not. It's not just us. I mean, that's awesome that you're doing that. And Jen and I, we're always together. We're always doing stupid stuff, and I'm like, so we should film this. People should know how stupid we are. So I don't even care.
We don't show you all how stupid.
No, we don't show you everything. But we were at a restaurant a couple weekends ago, and this guy I don't even know, he's on my Facebook page, but I guess when he came up to me, I had no idea who he was, and he goes, don't you do Facebook Lives with your girlfriend? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, oh my gosh, I show them to my office all the time. He's like, I love the one that you guys were in a warehouse, and I don't know what you were doing, but it was hilarious. And I'm like, oh my god. So yeah, and then I came out of the bathroom, and he goes, oh, there she is.
It's like
products are. Like if you could only use 3 of our products, what would they be? And people usually always know what their top 3 are. And then I'm like, okay, well tell me about EHT. Why do you love EHT so much? And then they go on to tell me why they love it, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, how many times have you told that story right there to anyone? Like how many people have you told that story to? And it's usually it's like the sinking feeling like, no, yeah, oh. And I'm like, you almost sold me on it, and I'm in the company, and I already have some in my cabinet, but I almost bought it because you were so, it took you less than a minute and I always time it on my phone. I'm like, let's see how long it takes her. So it usually is a minute, and it's compelling. She's telling me, like, why she loved it, what it's done for her, and how it's changed her life, and she might tell me, and it's also changed my husband in this way or that way. And so I'm like, you need to tell people that. Like that, people want to know, why do you like it? And that's what I always try to do, even when I'm doing I'll do like a training for our team or whatever, for for prospects to hear. I just get on there and tell them, this is why I like it. Like, wouldn't you rather hear, like, why somebody likes something rather than, here's what it does, and it does this, and this, and this, and this, and this. Like, okay, we've heard that a million times on TV. So I just think just sharing your, like he's been talking about all day, like, just sharing your experience is so much more powerful than sharing information.
Yes.
I have a good story.
Yeah.
I have one of my marketing friends. She does Simply Tasteful, and we do vendor events together, and we have fun. We do quarter auctions. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but we all have a blast. But she says, Jill, I really want to start. She goes, what do you have that I can use? I said, well, what do you need? And I said, what vitamins are you on? And she goes, well, the doctor told me to go get, and I always mess this up. He told me to get on CQ10.
CoQ10. Yeah.
Okay, see, I knew I missed that.
We got you.
Okay.
Okay.
So obviously I'm not familiar with
You don't have to be.
in our products, so I grabbed the bottles of the Youth Factor and the EHT and stuff, and I get to looking down them, and I noticed that our Youth Factor tablet has CoQ10 in it. And so I said, it's from Signum, it's got to be the best. You're not going to get it a better quality than this. So she started taking it. And she didn't take the powder because she's on high blood pressure. And so I kind of said, you need to ask your doctor about that. So she started taking the pill. And we swapped out. I'm trying to eat better. She's got good food, good stuff. So anyway, we swapped out. I was at the vendor event the other day, and she had ran out, and I took her a bottle about 2 weeks before that. And she says, I didn't want to tell you I ran out. I kept on taking my turmeric. And see, hey, you don't need to know everything. So anyway, she started, and she didn't have her Youth Factor, and she got unregular. And when she was on the Youth Factor tablet, she was regular twice a day. She'd never been that way for years. She went to the doctor, and her blood levels were better than her second best that she's ever had. And she said she'd been eating ice cream every night.
Who's the ice cream?
When we were at the event, we all packed up, and a lot of us stand outside chit-chatting. I was chatting with some girls over here, and she was chatting with Heather over here, and I went to my car and I said, hey girls, what are you doing over there? And they go, oh, we're talking about your products.
Yes. That's a great segue into this. Thank you for sharing. What's your name?
Jill.
Jill. Thank you. That's a great segue into this. Be kind to other people doing other businesses. Support them.
They will buy from you, too.
They will buy from you. I have a girlfriend of mine. I actually was going through to see if I could find a message. But I went through our entire message. She was like super popular and the nicest human being in our whole city. And everyone knew her. She has a place called Girl Friday, which is like all pamper for all women, right? And I remember reaching out to her 2013, and she's like, "You got my ear. You know, I'm open because she has a salon." And ultimately, she went with another company. And the girl that had recruited her was a friend of mine in Chicago. So it became a really small world thing. And I never once was like, wow. I was like, awesome. This industry is incredible. And I would always like her. And congratulations. Love your post. Blah, blah. Last month, she makes this long post on Facebook, public. She says, I was going to go buy from Gwyneth Paltrow this goop stuff, or whatever it is, and I've been watching my friend Tim do his business, who has always supported my business, and even though he can't buy any of our makeup, he can if he wants, even though he can't buy any of our makeup, I decided I'd rather buy from a friend than Gwyneth Paltrow, who I don't even know.
Absolutely.
And so she, right? It's because I supported her and was super positive. You need an abundance mentality. If you have that scarcity mentality of everyone's already been talked to, that's a lie. That is a lie, right? You don't see any of these companies that are already in a market that's completely saturated going, well, we might as well stop advertising. Everyone's got toothpaste. Right? And they keep advertising because they know people are going to continue to buy. And so the market is never saturated, and always be positive and support other people. Thanks everyone for sharing. Did everyone get a lot out of that?
Yes.
I love hearing it. I always, yes. Yes.
So who's the presentation about the top earner? See, I get so nervous.
It's okay.
Oh, don't.
Check this top earner.
Leslie Hopper.
Leslie Hopper. He has this picture of her hair, and so I can afford a lot of product, and I don't have a lot of customers.
Yeah.
Okay, so I use Factor. I've seen people drinking use Factor, and people talk about, but he keep doing training. Leslie Hopper, look at her hair, and then my hair should notice the thinning when I do Facebook, and everything like, oh my gosh, my hair. Then I just like, I gotta try to use the word. So he continuously just like, use Factor, look at this picture, so I sat by it.
No, not for me. I'll show those pictures at the end. Let's get to the training. I'm not going to go all the way to 2 o'clock here, okay? We changed ours in Chicago to 1 o'clock. Just because they condensed the training, and the event after the event is more important than the event. So we talked about product. Testimonials are everything. Recognition!